How the gigs going?
Great.
Very good. You just did the chicken a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good. Yeah.
Mm.
The private gig that I got given from that has unfortunately been postponed.
Yeah.
But, so a punter liked, she's,
Sweet.
yeah. I felt kind of complimented by it, but then she said, oh, we wanted a drag queen, but we couldn't find one.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like,
What the fuck is that?
hopefully you didn't choose me because I resemble a drag
Yeah.
queen. I mean, I know I wear a lot of makeup, but fucking hell.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good. I look forward to doing it again. Step it up next time, though. Instead of 5 minutes, we'll do 15.
Yeah, this wasn't your first time in a big crowd, was it?
No,
Like
wouldn't be.
was it a paid spot?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, good.
I'm still waiting, though.
Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice little surprise.
Some of them take like 8 months.
Okay.
It's fucking crazy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they just think artists have a lot of money.
Morons. Well, I suppose it's good that you don't. I've never looked into comedy as a form of income, so when I do get paid, it's even if it's $20, my eyes pop out of my head. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, if you were relying on stand-up here for your income,
Yeah, I'd
you'd
be a
fucked.
very, very thin woman. I'd be living in the gutter. Good
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what's been happening?
I'm gigging heaps. It's been really good. I
Yeah.
feel like since the last pod I was on, my work ethic's changed a lot. I remember we had a conversation about, you said, what if you won Tuts Lotto? You can go and do an hour every night. That would be amazing. And
You don't want to do that.
well, I ended up just saying, no, can I do it 2 times a week?
Yeah.
Because I need my alone time. And now it's like, no, fuck it, let's do it.
Ah,
So my
you're-
mind's changing. I'm enjoying the process more. It's
Yeah.
good. I've been waiting to feel like this.
What do you think changed?
Immense dissatisfaction with life, but then I think that just could have been COVID in general, feeling really bored. But also, I don't know, there's nothing else really going on. And I'm really satisfied with comedy as a creative outlet. So, yeah, and just the writing process and challenging yourself to be better. It's like it used to be a job for me to write more, and now it's a little bit easier. It's fun to look at a sentence that you've put in a joke and go, that's good, but how can I make it great? It's a giggle point. Why don't I make it a cackle point sort of thing? And playing around with it. And then, talking to your mates about different punchlines and then giving you ideas and opening up different avenues for where the joke can go and stuff. I'm just enjoying the process. Enjoy hanging out with rad people. I mean, I don't like massive crowds anymore. I used to go and see bands a lot, and now I can't be bothered. And I never feel like I can't be bothered to gig. So why not just enjoy it and push and see what happens,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's like ticking every box, isn't it?
It
That's-
is.
You're
Go-
interested. Being interested in the process is the fundamental.
Yeah. If you enjoy the journey. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I would like some cool things to happen, as in my goals are the same as what they were a year ago, but we all got cock-blocked by COVID. Thank you. I'd love to drop down to part-time eventually. Even just go from 5 days to 4 would be awesome. And then even if I'm doing a paid gig once every couple of weeks or every 3 weeks, something, that'd be great.
Do you spend every day on your material? Or you try...
I try and do something every day, even if that's replacing one sentence, even if it's staring at my notes.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm better off trying to take advantage when my mind's in the flow state. Because if I try and force it, I don't think I'm going to come up with gold.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in a really manic or lucid or just a really creative headspace, and it's like that's when you've got to jump in, and that's when you've got to write stuff. Because you can feel the ideas. It's like they're tangible and they're bouncing in your head. I swear I'm sitting in my kitchen going, because they're bouncing around,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I read this ridiculous article on some science journal that said that the most creative time for a person is just as they're falling asleep.
Yep.
Have you read that?
No, that happens to me all the fucking time. And I get really pissed off because it's like I've spent the afternoon trying to focus on writing, and I've spent a lot of that time procrastinating. I'll exercise or meal prep or do something. I'm just like, sit down and write. Come on, you can do it. And then it doesn't happen. And then I go, right, go to sleep and you can try again tomorrow. And I'm laying there.
Yeah, and you can't.
Smart people will sit in that state purposely and try and remember what they actually think of in that state. And so, or stay in that state for as long as they can.
What sort of state? Like just nodding off?
Yeah, so you're on the edge of sleep.
Because Einstein was saying he would, sit in a chair and nod off.
Authors do it. There are people who come up with their best ideas just on the edge of sleep, and they've got the mental awareness or ability to be able to hang in that state. It's this amazing state of meditation, and sit there and see what comes up. So yeah, I think it's great. There's also another thing called celestial learning, whereas people will have a nap on purpose after they've done a revision of some sort or studying. So, because REM sleep is your memories filing cabinet. It's your brain piecing everything together, and I think it's shuffling memories from your short term into your long term. And so
Really?
people do their study and then have a nap afterwards.
So
There's so many little hacks.
So rapid eye movement,
Yeah.
that sleep,
Yeah.
is your brain's moving information into long-term memory.
Yes.
Wow.
It's also you processing the day that you've just had, which is why it's so important to get enough sleep. A lot of people who end up missing out on REM sleep in the morning can end up getting depression as a result. You need that REM sleep. That's why it's good when sometimes I'll go to sleep, I don't know, maybe 10 p.m. and I'll wake up a few hours later and I've had a dream and I've had REM sleep. And then that's a good thing, because if I don't get it in the morning, I at least know that I've had some for that night.
When you say you go to sleep at 10 and you'll wake up a few hours later, what's a few hours later?
I always wake up probably 2 hours later. I
Always?
wake up, yeah. It's very rare for me to have an unbroken sleep.
What's going on after 2 hours? Because interestingly, I wake up after 5 hours, no matter what.
Okay.
And it'll take me another half an hour to get to sleep if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
If I'm really tired and it's cumulative over the last few days, I'll pass back out. Otherwise, and I'm not drinking or anything like that, so I'm like just, I don't know, normal. But I'll wake up after 5. And I don't know why.
I remember reading, it's one of those things where you go, is it scientific or is it woo-woo? I'm not sure. There are some forms of, I guess, Eastern medicine, I think you'd call it, that believe that there's a different organ is processing at a different hour during the night. And 3 a.m. is apparently liver hour. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m. a lot, then your liver's working really hard to detox whatever it is that you're doing. And so when I was a big drinker, I would frequently wake up at that. And so I don't know whether it was placebo, but I felt like that was the issue. I just felt like my body was just working really hard to manage my lifestyle. And then after I stopped drinking, it took a month or two, but my sleep got better and I stopped waking up at 3 a.m. And so now I think when I wake up, I don't know what it is. It's the train. It's the fucking cat. It is...
Put the cat in the laundry.
I can't put the cat in the laundry. She'll scratch the door. She'll...
Sleep is the most important thing ever.
It is. Here's another one.
That's why I'm terrified. I'm scared of, like, everything terrifies me. But why am I waking up after 5 hours? I've got to get to the bottom of it, because I'm scared, because if you're not sleeping a lot, your body's not repairing itself. And if it's not repairing itself, you're doing yourself a disservice in the long run. That's how tumors come. That's how cancers come. And because I'm a wog, I accentuate and exaggerate the worrying, so I bring it on more.
Okay, yeah. Well, that doesn't help either, does it? Here's another thing. I don't sleep properly if I don't roll out my quads.
What's that mean?
I get really, really tight quads from exercise. I don't know, some people have it.
When you say roll out my quads, you have to stretch.
I have to stretch, and I have to do it on a roller ball thing, on a roller tube thing. So it's the painful one, because otherwise I'll lay there and they're burning, because I'm just a quad heavy person. So I need to roll them out.
I've never heard that. Do you put that on your Tinder? Quad.
I'm quad heavy.
Quad heavy,
I'm
babe.
fucking waiting for quads to come in. They're never going to fucking come in. It goes tits, ass, tits, ass, tits, ass, repeat for fucking decades. And I'm sitting there like, anytime now. Here's another thing about being tired that drives me nuts too. Okay. I saw you at King's a couple of weeks ago, right? I remember when I say something stupid and I fucking beat myself up for weeks. And you said, hey, are you going to go to Monbulk and are you going to go picking in Monbulk? And I went, picking what? Fruit?
Yeah, the jam.
Right?
When we were kids, mom bulk.
It wasn't even that. It was I legitimately had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what you were talking about because I was really tired, but I jazzed myself up on coffee.
Right.
And so what happens is when you do that, it's a false sense of alertness. Yeah. And so you think you're doing well. You're like, fuck yeah, I've got caffeine. And then you say something stupid like that because ultimately your comprehension's really bad and you're fake awake instead of being awake from being rejuvenated.
Right.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so it happens all the time. And saying something stupid is my biggest fear. So getting tumours and dying for lack of sleep, that's yours, right? Mine's saying something dumb.
All right. So going back to falling asleep, why do you wake up after 2 hours? Have you worked it out?
No. But
Do you wake
if
up?
I...
Is it a dream that you have, or is it no?
No.
It just, you just wake up.
It's not always 2 hours, but
Okay.
it's usually around that time. It's very unusual for me to fall asleep and then stay asleep. That's not how it used to be, though.
Is
I
it?
used to sleep like a rock. So there's
Well,
something
yeah.
that I think I'm one of those people who has to follow all of the fucking rules. Roll out the quads, have some magnesium, make sure I'm hydrated, not too hydrated, otherwise you need to take a piss.
What does
All of
magnesium
these-
do?
Magnesium is a muscle relaxant. And so if you take magnesium, you also don't get as sore after exercise either. It's
Well-
really good. It's necessary.
Do you know any food that has magnesium?
There's lots of food. Fruit and veggies are meant to have lots of magnesium in it, but apparently the soil in Australia is depleted, and so we're not getting anywhere near as much magnesium as we should. So
Oh.
it's good to supplement.
Right.
Yeah, I am a walking encyclopedia for random shit.
It's good. I like it. All right. So maybe I need more magnesium then.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. If you take a lot of it, you shit yourself. So don't take a lot.
Yeah.
So melt into the bed like ice cream. You can
Yeah.
actually feel it. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, but then if you do that, then you're not going to have all of your ideas. You're going to fall asleep instead of your little
Yeah.
pre-sleep joke. So pick one.
Yeah.
Sleep or jokes.
Jokes win all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if I end up in a padded cell as long as I'm crushing.
Yeah.
True.
Yes, sweet.
We don't care.
That's right. Absolutely. I'll take it. Yeah.
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 So okay, so magnesium, and you roll out your quads, and then you sleep for 2 hours. Is it true that a sleep cycle is 1.5 hours?
Yeah, it's 1.5. So it
And
doesn't
what's
make...
happening in that 1.5? You go all the way down to, I don't know, I saw some chart. Like, do you go
Yeah,
down
you've
to
got
it?
you've got 4 stages of sleep, I think, and then you have a little bit of each.
All right.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4. I think it's 4, and you have a little bit of each in that cycle. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, I don't know. See, that's why I feel like you can tell when you wake up at the end of a sleep cycle because you wake up and you feel refreshed, you feel good. Even if you haven't had all
quick
of
one.
the sleep that you need, you feel good. When you wake up, when you're in the middle of deep sleep, you fucked up. And you should be. It's like your brain's shut down, everything's shut down, and then you've been woken up for some reason. It makes sense that that you feel like shit. You can't get out of it.
I always beat my alarm clock. Always. And
By a couple of minutes?
No, like by a fucking half hour, like 45 minutes. Like
Right.
I set my alarm for 7 a.m. to go for a swim, but I'm always beating it. Like I'm always waking up at 5:30.
Do you know what time it is
6.
when you wake up? I always know what time it is.
Yeah, I wear my watch to bed.
No, but I know what time it is without looking at my watch.
Oh, I play that game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It's a fucking great game.
Like, what else are you going to do?
If I nail it, I roll over and play 6 numbers. I always play the lotto before I get out of bed.
Really?
Yeah, because life should have a go, have a crack at a lucky dip. Start the day with a bit of luck. You never know. It's 1 in 300 million, but I don't know. Someone
Well, yeah,
wins
gotta
it.
be. You do
You
have
know?
to be in it to win it. Yeah, every time I walk past the newsagent and I fucking see the colours or the big lightning Powerball, I have a game with myself, which is that really good advertising that snuck into your psyche? And there's fucking psychologists behind that advertising waiting for me to see it in my peripherals and walk in, or is it my intuition going, go and get it a scratchy? You're gonna win $25,000. You know.
What's the advertisement? Is it just the poster that that
No,
attracts your attention?
it's the whole thing. And it's like,
Is it a TV that's got an ad on it repeating?
no, it's the window.
Yeah.
And it's either the poster that I see or I just recognize it in my subconscious as I walk past it.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask these questions, I'm constantly asking these questions, I'm always on the fence about shit, is because there's always more than one answer, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so,
There's no such thing as black or white.
yeah, I think everything's grey.
Except maybe mathematics. But everything else is there's a lot of grey areas.
Yeah. And then aren't there some mathematical anomalies though?
Yeah, there are, but I'm saying overall, I guess
overall, it's
maths
probably
is
the most.
1 + 1 is 2, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's concrete.
We need to have solids. This is probably why I don't feel, I don't know. Where do you even fucking start? God damn it. Okay, what
Wait,
was I
you're
gonna say?
jumping ahead. So what attracted... So did you buy a ticket? Did that work? Did the advertising make you buy a ticket?
So, well, it's I've bought a ticket before
Okay.
and nothing's happened, and that's where I go, no, it wasn't a synchronicity, it was the advertising. So here's an idea for you. I remember reading that there is your conscious brain can process about 40 or so bits of information at the same time. And your subconscious brain can process, I think it's tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. It was a huge number, right?
Really?
In comparison. And so one of those, that was the scientific explanation for intuition, right? Because I've had all of these strange intuitive experiences that can't be explained by normal rationale. And so I was seeking a explanation for intuition, and it said because of the bits of information, whenever you have an intuitive feeling about something but you don't know why, just like, oh, this person's creepy, or I don't feel good here, or I feel really good about that, it's your subconscious brain picking up on something that your conscious brain can't see. Thus, it has to tell your gut that something's off or something's on, right?
Is that the scientific explanation of a gut feeling?
And it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
But then it doesn't explain precognition, but that's a whole other conversation. But when it comes to walking past the newsagent, it always fucks with me because the question always pops in because I go, if I noticed it, does that mean that that's the let's go in, let's buy a ticket because I noticed it? Or did I notice it because there are psychologists who work behind the advertisements for those posters to lure dumb fucks like me to go in and buy a ticket or a scratchy?
And what do you think it is, the latter?
It's fucking both.
Both.
It's both. Yeah.
'Cause
grey area.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people's intuition are tuned to what's important to them. So if personal safety is important to a person, I feel like they are going to follow their gut feeling in regards to don't do this dangerous little trick. Don't jump from one wheelie bin to the other to show off for this girl, right? You know? And whereas someone who doesn't have personal safety as a driver or as a factor in their lives, they're more likely to take that risk. So I feel like our intuition is guided by what we want out of life, which is, I want money. You know, who doesn't? It's not the be all and end all, but it would be nice to, you know, win lots of money. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But it's, so that screws with me when I walk past the newsagent. Anyway.
Does that is that neuro-linguistic programming, NLP? Have you heard of that? Like
my best friend's a practitioner for that.
I'm scared of those people because they use all these tricks to lure people in a certain direction. Is that true?
How do I address this?
It's suggestive. Like there was a magician I worked with in Egypt, and he gave me a very basic example. And he caught me off guard, and he said he turned to this female comedian and he said, "Pick a card, any card, my princess, my love. Come on, anyone. Come on, quick." And she went, "Queen of Hearts," and he pulled out of his pocket a card, and it was the Queen of Hearts. And the reason why is because, all right, he goes, "I've given you you've seen it out of context, but I suggest you say Queen of Hearts because I said pick a card, my princess, my love." And your brain is under pressure because there's a whole crowd of people around you, and I've just gone, pick a card, any card, my princess, my love. And you just panic and you're like, princess, love, that's the queen, that's the hearts, queen of hearts. And 9 times out of 10, he pulls out and he goes, so that's a basic example of NLP, of what I do. And he goes, I can help you with hypnotherapy and all this
It's
other
got
stuff.
the word programming in it, which was already a red flag.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm scared of that shit.
My best friend is an NLP practitioner, and her intention is definitely to heal people, help people get over their shit.
Yeah, I'm sure
help
there's
people
Jedis,
deal with stuff.
but there's also people using it for the dark side.
Definitely, but there's people using every single thing for the dark side. And
Yeah.
that's why you've always got to have your backup to be able to fish out charlatans. And that's why there's so many things that have a bad name, because there's always been shitty representatives of them. You know, I mean, I've done ayahuasca 6 times, right? And I've done it with a female shaman, and I've done it in Melbourne, and it was all legitimate. She would go back and forth from Peru, all real. And yet there's people who have done ayahuasca in Peru with charlatans and have been either sexually assaulted during the ceremony, or they've been robbed, or they've been taken advantage of in some way. That doesn't take away from the plant. That doesn't take away what it does. You know, even people at bush doofs taking mushrooms just to party and being completely unaware of what they can do for you, and having no idea of consequences of playing with that stuff, or just the sheer amount that they're wasting them and they're just using them as a party drug, you know. I think people who don't understand mushrooms have the concept that those are the only people who take them. And if you take them, then you're just a party animal or whatever. You're just a junkie. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where you've got to, if you want to try something or look into something, you've got to find a legitimate practitioner or source of it to be able to judge it from a good place and not just dismiss it. Yeah. I'm not too into it. I'm not too into NLP. There's lots of language in it that I'm not into. It's just, you know,
What's
it's
its
a very
purpose?
it's a very girls group, and it's very airy fairy. It's very
But it works, right? Like, I've seen it work. A small example of it.
it was that just the story you just said, or a
Yeah.
different, right? Okay, but then I don't think that's representative of NLP.
Well, what is it in a nutshell? Is it coercion, or to get someone to change their
It's-
habits?
Okay, so
Is it, and how does it
coercion-
differ from hypnotherapy?
okay. So I don't know if I'm explaining it properly. So I had a session with my friend, and the first, so there's lots of different things that you do in each session. The first session that we had was a questionnaire. What do you want to change? I can't even remember. There were so many different questions. What would you change if you could? What it was so long ago. So that's the questionnaire is the first one. There's about 50 different questions. And then the second one was timeline therapy. And that was revisiting traumatic events in your mind and trying to detach the emotion from them. If there's another person involved, it would be about forgiving that person and letting go, basically trying to move on with your life and getting shit off, dealing with it. In terms of hypnotherapy, I guess I think neuro-linguistic programming covers lots of different ways on how you can disperse your trauma, I think, and manifest shit maybe. Whereas I feel like hypnotherapy is just the one method, and that is all suggestion.
Did it work for you?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I feel like I can't tell you whether it worked based on the fact that I've already been doing so much to improve myself. And so I can't, first I'm biased because I'm answering the question myself. And then I'm doing too much other stuff that I can't say that, yes, this did work, because I just can't. I'd be lying if I said it did or it didn't. I think, I don't know, I view it as an experience. We were meant to do 3 or 4 sessions. We only did 2 as well, so I didn't technically finish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, you know, I think it's going to take more than 4 sessions if it was to really do, yeah. I find it, some people are going to benefit from going to a psychologist. Some people would benefit from doing some sort of energy healing, even if it's placebo, it still works. If it works, it works. There's different ways. There's more than one way up the mountain, and that way isn't going to be the same for someone else. So you've just got to find out what works for you. But if you don't like woo-woo stuff,
Yeah.
like you're a science man,
Yeah. Well,
you
I
might
like
just
science,
sit there and be 10 minutes in, just be like, nope, see ya,
Yeah.
don't like it. Yeah.
That's indicative of your style, though, finding your own way up the mountain. That's what you kind of did during lockdown in terms of educating yourself on your own health and doing
Yeah,
your
with the
own
genetic
thing.
testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first reason that I wanted to do that was find out my heritage, which is I'm really fucking white, which was obvious. So 74% was English and Irish, 17% was French and German, with 1% East Asian, Egyptian, and Indigenous American.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it had to be, though. If I was 100% white, how many fucking ancestors do I have?
Yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah.
We can't have all been white. There had to be something else in there, surely.
No, it's just a pleasant surprise that you've got, 1% Indigenous.
Yeah, something. I'm glad. If it was all white, I don't know.
'Cause if
White's boring. It's fucking boring.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. Yeah. But if everyone does this test, eventually, if everyone does this test, you're going to find that link to that 1% because everyone's going to be on the system.
Yeah.
Because I had this girl reach out from Sydney saying, "Hey, wear a match," and I didn't know who she was. She was Australian.
Yeah.
And she goes, my mum got pregnant in the late 80s by like a one-night stand when she was living in Canada, and we share a lot of fucking DNA, and I'm like, holy shit, and you kind of look like my other cousin, so we had to tread carefully here because we didn't want to put a foot in it. So
yeah.
we found out by a closed door slamming in our face. We think we know that there was a cousin who worked on the docks, who worked on the ships and docked in Canada for a week back in the late 80s and just had a one-night stand, lied about his name and that and his contact details, and then fucked off, and she decided to keep the baby. And then 32 years later, whatever, she's contacted me going, hey, we're a match. So I'm like, fuck, DNA is digging up one-night stands and all this shit.
Yeah, my grandpa I never got to meet him, on my dad's side, had a child to someone in Tasmania. He had a girlfriend who was pregnant, and he said, I'm just going to Melbourne for a bit. And he never fucking went back. So, yeah, I've seen photos. Of some cousins, and there's every now and again I've got one second cousin in Tasmania who every now and again she messages me and she's like, hey, what's up? Found another one. And there's a fucking another one.
Wow.
Yeah. Just... yeah, it is digging some shit up from the past, and I can see, I don't know, the concept of finding a family member, it's going to work out so good for one person, just like, oh yeah, I've reconnected with this person, blah, 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 found a new cousin, and then there's going to be so many situations where you go, oh my God, I've reconnected with this thing, and this person comes in and fucking ruins your life.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, we're family. Oh God,
fuck.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Haven't had any, there hasn't been any situations, but it is interesting seeing photos and seeing resemblance and stuff like that from illegitimate aliens, what would you call them?
So
bastards.
Yeah, so you found out you had some bastards, and then you worked back. What did you do? You did a DNA test to see if you were
health stuff.
Yeah. So if you say it, I can't do it justice.
All good. So basically, I did the 23andMe DNA testing kit, and they don't give you any health data. So you have to run it through a different website. I ran it through Found My Fitness, which is run by Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's on Joe Rogan every now and again, researcher, PhD and some shit. Anyway, she's got this website. And you run the data through, and then she gives you a report. And the report has multiple different explanations or potential outcomes for your genetic variants. So, for example, and this is so annoying. Every single gene that was tested, every variant that was tested was 2.5 times more likely than the average person to be obese. 4.5 times more likely than the average person to be obese. I'm like, there wasn't a single fucking normal weighted one in that. It was all just like...
Nothing like 10 times more amazing than a common person.
No.
Or nothing, just like...
No. Obesity. I shouldn't... the first pod that we had, I was talking about keto. I can't do keto.
What, right? Because there's something in your DNA that says keto is a no-no.
Yes.
We don't respond good to keto.
That's right.
And what's keto again, for those who don't know? It's basically no carbs?
No carbs, yeah.
Okay.
Or extremely low carb. The reason being is because my genes, or the variants, you know how people who eat a lot of sugar get diabetes?
Yeah.
You can also get diabetes from eating a lot of saturated fat. So if I was to do keto, I wouldn't be able to do eggs or bacon or steak or whatever it is. It would have to be polyunsaturated fats, avocados, a little bit of nuts. It would just be difficult to do. So I'm not even just like, okay, all right, I'm not going to touch it. I don't want diabetes. Fuck. I like my feet, right? If I can work.
Your feet go.
I don't want to walk around on stumps, right?
Yeah. My mate looks like he's climbed Everest. Oh, black. They're black.
Okay.
Yeah, his toes are black.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fighting to keep it.
Oh,
But I'm like,
has he got diabetes, or is he just...
No, he's got diabetes.
He does have diabetes.
But he's fighting to keep the foot, and it's fucking black. And I'm like, don't wear thongs to my... He's the only person I allow to keep his thongs on.
Please.
I don't want that on my carpet.
No. Jesus. Wow. Is he old?
Yeah. 64, 65.
Okay.
Which is, well, relatively.
Yeah, still. Fuck, man.
But he had a shit diet.
Yeah.
Shit diet.
Some people, the warning signs are there. If you don't pay attention to the warning signs, you don't... That's what fucking happens.
So you did this genetic test. You ran it through certain filters, and it says, based on your DNA, you have a tendency for this, low tolerance for that, you should be careful of this, what's your intake of this type of food, or blah, blah, blah.
So it's all very, I guess, suggestive based on data. So, for example,
based on your DNA?
Yeah, but...
Isn't that something we should all be doing?
Yes.
It's
but
something
the reason
a doctor
why they
should send
say,
you away to do.
The reason why they say may, though, is there are other factors. And, okay, so we've got something like 23 or 24,000 pairs of genes, right? And then so you've got a genetic variant for I believe, all of these, I think. God, if there's any geneticists watching this, like, get this bitch off. She doesn't know what she's fucking talking about.
We're talking about Kanye's wardrobe. 24,000 genes, right?
Yeah. And so your genes are representative in one way or the other. So there's different variants on a gene. That's why we're different from our siblings, right? And there are other factors. So as an example, 6 of the variants that they looked at for me in my report, 5 of them said I have a low association for severe COVID illness. And the 6th one said susceptibility for severe COVID illness, right?
What does that mean? Does that mean your immune system can develop antibodies on its own to beat it?
No, so I don't remember the specifics of most of them, but one of them was because I've got a genetic variant that is associated with, that's the language, low amounts of the ACE2 receptor. The ACE2 receptor is the receptor that the COVID spike binds to. So because I have a genetic variant that says that I probably, it's not definitely, it's probably have low ACE2 receptors, then I'm less likely to get severe illness because there's not enough of the receptors in my lungs to become severely ill. Right. But the reason why it's all probable and not definite is because there are other factors.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's why they can't say, yes, these are your genes. This is definitely, you have to do this. They can only say, this is what we think that you should do.
Right.
Because there's always other factors.
Yeah, and no scientist wants to put their neck out and say, ta-da, science doesn't work that way. It's always like like you said, other factors at play.
I think
they can't be definitive.
They can't say...
They can only assign it a probability.
Yeah, that's right. They can't say that this is definitely the case. So they can only
'cause
say
definitely is
that you're
100%.
exactly. So they can just say that this genetic variant has been associated with lower incidence of this or higher incidence of that.
Wow.
And so if you're making decisions based on that information, based on probability,
Yeah.
you're probably going to put yourself in a better place than if you didn't.
It's
So
almost like you've got the
now-
blueprints to your
Yeah.
immune system, your genetic makeup, what foods you can, how you can fill your pantry.
Yeah. And so there were just suggestions in there. So the suggestions were take fish oil because that is going to maybe help speed up my metabolism. Like I can take fish oil, that's fine. It said if you want to keep because you've even got genes that are responsible for how fast you age, and so
Really?
it suggested to take resveratrol. I've already got
What's resveratrol?
It's an antioxidant.
Oh,
It's the
it sounded like a cream that some hot model puts on late night
It
TV.
is a cream now. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. It's also in grapes. Is this how we're talking now? Fine, because I can do this.
So if you grapes.
Well, you're better off taking a supplement because you want a huge amount. I mean,
Right.
no one wants to have 3 kilos of grapes.
Interesting that the immortals in Greece ate grapes.
They I'm
lived
sure they would
forever?
be right. Yeah, yeah.
And they were always like lying down eating grapes.
Yeah,
The Greeks knew.
they knew. Well, I
No.
guess they do. I don't know anything about Greek history. Yeah, yeah.
Don't worry about it. Sorry.
No,
Just
it's
a poor
cool.
attempt at humor.
No, but I wanted to add to it, but I fucking can't because I
Alright.
don't know anything about Greek history.
So resveratrol
Resveratrol.
sounds like a Russian person.
Resveratrol.
Resveratrol. Okay, so you can get that in grapes.
I'm here
but
to make you look young. Sorry.
so you buy that in a supplement.
Yes, because you're never going to get what you need out of the grapes.
Yeah.
And
what does that do? Like keep your skin elastic or no? I don't know.
it's an antioxidant, so it's getting rid of free radicals. So free radicals are things that are damaging you, but it works on a genetic
damaging
level.
my cells.
Yes. Yeah. So
Right.
that's
Huh.
why people who smoke heaps look like shit. People who smoke heaps, they look like shit because they your body utilizes vitamin C, which is also an antioxidant, to try and fight off all the damage that you're doing to it by smoking, right? Every single time you have a cigarette, your body uses a certain amount of milligrams of vitamin C to fight off the ciggy. And so if you're not consuming vitamin C, you're eventually going to look like the wonderful shriveled people that we see in the street.
That's why my brother's smart. He always drinks screwdrivers with his cigarette.
What's the screwdriver?
Vodka orange.
Okay, yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I had vitamin C tablets in my fucking mouth while I was smoking. Yeah.
great.
Except had no idea that the vitamin C tablets were slowly eating away at my teeth and I needed to get fucking 6 fillings.
Yeah.
So dumb. Do you look at your younger self and go, fuck, I was an idiot. I was such an idiot.
Up until I was 42.
42.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So
Before
I've got
then,
7 years.
yeah.
All right.
Only in the last 7 years I feel stable. Okay, so you've taken that. What else have you done? Because this is a really good insight into like, I think it's something everyone should have in front of them, like a little
Yeah.
blueprint of, hey, this is what we've found in your DNA.
Mhm.
Don't take it as gospel, but
Yeah.
FYI,
Really
this
good
is
suggestion. Yeah. Look, I exercise heaps, but I still eat too much. I mean, it's not just the genes, which is why I'm not as small as I'd like to be. I've done it just. So
but you're fine.
yeah. There's no issue. Like it's just my personal preference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If
different.
in lockdown I crept up a bit high.
Fuck, who didn't?
I know, but it was really depressing for me because I couldn't do yoga because I've got weak wrists and my wrists were like, you can't fucking be this
Yeah,
big
I
and do
know.
yoga. It was awful. So I've crept back down again. It's just personal preference of what I want. Oh, I've also written a ton of diet jokes, which I think are funny. I'll be doing them tonight at
Nice.
Berkey because
Woohoo.
I've decided that I've tortured myself with diet shit for fucking years, constantly focused on it, constantly being dissatisfied. And it's like, what has it given me? Nothing. It's given me fucking nothing. So what am I going to do? Write jokes about it and turn it into something. I've decided that everything that I've pissed myself off with in my life, I'm going to fucking take the piss out of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it mean something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking angle.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm excited for it. I think that's another reason why I'm enjoying comedy so much.
Comedy is tragedy plus time.
Yeah.
Take your tragedy and had a bit of time.
That's
and
right.
Take the piss.
Yeah. So, Will Smith, huh?
Yeah.
He laughed first before he slapped Chris Rock, right? Here's my question. I couldn't tell whether it was a legitimate laugh and then he looked at his wife, saw her face and then hit him, or was it one of those laughs that you see people doing where, you insult me and then I go like crack my neck and then come over and fuck you up, right? I couldn't tell what kind of laugh it was.
Maybe a bit of both.
It could have been a bit of both. I don't even think he knew what was going on.
No, the fact that he was like crying half an hour later on stage.
But I read the speech that he did.
And then Denzel Washington hugged him during the break and he was sobbing. I don't know. The guy, I don't know. All I know is I think Chris Rock is still at home going, did he slap me?
Yeah, he's writing bits about it. He's sitting on his couch.
Hit you, dude.
The ideas are bouncing around his head. Yeah.
If Chris Rock, if I was there, I would just be fast enough to turn it into a high five instead of a slap.
Oh, yeah, because I was looking at him going, there was so much fucking tension. And it's like you've got a social responsibility as a host to get rid of tension when it occurs. And when someone actually hits you, like I recognize that would have been a really difficult job to do. But
very, very fucking difficult. I don't know how to, as a comedian, I think I wouldn't have, as a comedian, I probably would have empowered her with her alopecia. I wouldn't have roasted her about going bald because I think going bald as a man is socially acceptable, but going bald as a woman is a lot harder.
Yeah, it takes away your femininity.
So
it fucks people up.
So I would have been a little bit more cautious if I was a comedian up there on stage. I would have probably, if I was going to do a joke about her baldness, I would have empowered her about it somehow and gone, hey, look, I'm bald. Welcome to the club. It's a fucking great world. And then made some sort of joke. But I think the only other thing I could say is Will Smith didn't punch him. He slapped him. And I think the slap was just his way of going, you've gone too far, know your place. That's my wife. If it was a punch, it's full on.
Yeah,
a punch is brutal.
Yeah, that was the status update that I just did. I said everyone was complaining that he just slapped instead of punched him. Like, well, if he king hit him, it would have been really fucking awkward.
Yeah, it would have been different. It would have been,
it would have been assault charges. Almost.
Yeah, well, Foxtel would have rung up. Do you guys want to do a fight? We'll get you on pay-per-view. Because we've just done Barry Hall, but he was no fucking good. He dropped in the first round. So, Rock versus Smith. Will I snap? Yes.
Oh, so are you on Team Rock or Team Smith?
I'm on Team both. Team both. Can I be both? Because
there's no grey areas. It's black or white. We discussed this.
Fuck. I can't, because I understand Chris Rock was doing a joke, and then I understand Will Smith was like, "Fuck, man, leave my wife alone."
No, see,
it's chivalrous, it's romantic, it's protective of it, but
I didn't see the whole. Yeah,
she wasn't happy about the joke.
No, she
wasn't. I saw her
wasn't.
face. She was fucking angry.
But what if this was accidental method acting?
It was not acting. There was tension.
No, accidental. So you know method acting, right?
Yeah.
So he had just played a character who is fiercely protective of his family. What if he's just done that fucking movie? What if he's still accidentally in the character?
Well, that's a fucking good point.
Yeah. See, I imagine that if you're an actor and you're playing a role for, Jim Carrey does method acting. That was the whole...
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, that one, right? And there was a point where you're going, is fucking Jim still in there? What the hell's going on here?
I think
Surely
you're right.
There's some sort of brainwashing that occurs.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't the Batman character fucking kill Heath Ledger? He was on all of these antidepressants and antipsychotics and all of this medication and whatever, and it was only soon after Batman that he passed away. I'm presenting this to you as an idea, not gospel, but it's possible that these acting roles fuck people up or they brainwash them or change them, even if temporarily. So I think he's in that whole...
I think it's just... Brainwash is a strong word. I think he's just in that role.
Suggestive.
He just came out of... Yeah, so because when he received his acceptance... When he did his acceptance speech, he paid respect to the character he was playing, saying my character was such a family man and my character would never let anyone talk about his family like that. So yeah, that's why I was like, when you said that, I was like, wow, yeah, because he gave the acceptance speech with the actor he played in mind, the role he played in mind. So yeah, you could be right. It could have bled over.
Yeah, that's the concept that I've come up with, which is why I'm not... Well, I mean, I do comedy.
But then again, Will
and
Smith
I want
is cooked lately, they say.
That's what I mean.
That's
I don't think I'm. If I have to choose a side, I'm Team Rock 100%. Because surely isn't the beauty of doing comedy being able to say shit with the intention that someone else can also say shit to you? I mean, I think Will went too far, and I think that a more appropriate response would have been saying to Chris later on, dude, my wife's got alopecia. It's been fucking with her head for years. I really didn't appreciate that, because their friendship's probably severed now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
You
That slap, yeah.
Yeah, kind of a deal breaker. But yeah.
Like, I think the fighting in Ukraine stopped so they could all watch that on their phones. Like, everyone watched it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
I don't know. Maybe it's just yeah, you don't know, but I like, that's why I said to you, I feel for both. I understand Chris Rock's in a difficult position. He's making a joke, but I heard the joke. It was a bit like blunt.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't a grouse joke. But even the best comedians still make mistakes. You know, it's like if Chris Rock, I don't know about Chris and Will's friendship. I don't follow celebrity stuff, but if they've got a friendship there, I think surely Chris's reputation up until now, if your best mate of 20 years made a mistake and said something that they shouldn't have, are you going to slap them or are you going to say, I really don't appreciate that? Because they've got 20 years of history with that person of them proving that they've got good character. So people still make mistakes about stuff.
Were they close mates beforehand?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know. So, yeah, lots of different factors. But
I'd be interested to see what comes out in the next couple of weeks, because I like your theory the best so far, that he was kind of still in Richard III character mode.
Yeah.
Or whoever he played, King Richard.
Yeah.
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 I don't know the movie, but...
Nah, I'm not going to see the movie. I'm not going to see the movie out of principle.
I'm going to see it and give it 5
I don't have
slaps.
any principles. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yep. Good times.
Brutal way to, fuck. Like, my biggest nightmare is to be at the Comics Lounge in front of 500 people and have something go south.
Yeah.
I was on stage when I did a joke and it didn't land. It was a joke. I was at open mic. I was at the expense. I had this joke about disabled. It just didn't work. And someone in the crowd goes, "I'm disabled." I went, "Oh fuck. I fucked up. I just fucked it right up." Like, the whole thing. The run-up was wrong. The execution was wrong. I haven't done it since. I've thrown it away. But
how long ago was this?
About a year and a half ago.
Oh!
Just after COVID. Or in between, like, a COVID thing. It was a bad whole... Me and my brother used to go to communion at Greek church.
Okay.
And every Easter... the body of Christ and the communion, Orthodox, it's one cup. So the priest is there with a spoon and everyone lines up and the priest goes, "This is the blood of Christ." And you got to, and me and my brother would go, my mum would drag us every fucking Easter. She'd drag us by the collar to get communion.
Okay.
And
Sorry, I wagged religious education. Never set foot in a church for non-wedding or funeral purposes. It's just fucking whack. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so, a strict Greek Orthodox upbringing. So my mum would drag us by the collar every Easter to take communion, and in the line of kids in front of us, there was the mentally disabled kids, and they would take communion, and they drool and they can't, keep their mouth, and they've got all these various conditions, and it was the one spoon. So me and my brother had a fight to see who would go in front of each other to clean the spoon after they were finished.
Yeah.
And I was crying. I was like, I want to bring my own spoon. And my mum's going, you can't bring your own spoon. And I was like, I don't want I don't want to go after the disabled person. And my brother's like, you're younger, you've got to go. And he's stronger by 7 years. So he shoved...
God damn it, older brothers, fuck!
He shoved me in front, and I had to go after this disabled person that had like saliva coming out of his mouth, and they were cleaning him, and he took the spoon, and then I cried and wailed, and I couldn't. My mum's hitting me, and the priest is going to keep his mouth open. And then, that was the whole joke, and it just didn't come out right. And someone in the crowd goes, I'm disabled. And
No, fuck that person.
Oh, fuck.
Nah. How do you know
Do you
that
see
they
where
weren't a criminal in a past life and they deserve to be disabled?
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, so I'm not big enough to be cancelled. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
No, the reason why I said that, it annoys me that person said that for the reason that
you
were weren't you explaining how you were from a child?
I mean,
it's a child's mind.
I was trying to sell it through the eyes of an 8-year-old boy.
Yeah.
But
and so do you think that person misunderstood or you didn't execute it properly?
I didn't execute it properly.
Okay,
and it
all right.
came
Well,
out.
fuck you.
Yeah. It came out, as a lot of comedians know, how you think it's going to come out is way different to how it actually comes out. And if you're dying, your heart races, you get nervous, your editing department goes to shit. It just leaves. It packs up, it shuts the door, and the brain goes, shit, we're on our own, so just send words out. And the words I sent out into the audience were horrible. And someone said, I'm fucking disabled.
Oh.
And that's when only the comedians laughed. I think, yeah.
But they were laughing at your expense.
Yeah.
It would have been okay. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's so shit. When your brain needs it the most, it fucking goes.
It goes to shit.
It absolutely goes.
So going back to Chris Rock, he suffered an ultimate fucking embarrassment on the world's biggest stage imaginable in front of millions. And he held it together like a professional and a gentleman. And he's like, all right, Like, fuck, he didn't lose it.
Yeah.
He kept his cool right through to the end. And he even kind of saved it a bit by saying something like, well,
this is the greatest night on television or something like that.
It fucking was.
Yeah.
Like, that moment will go down. We'll be seeing that in 100, like, we won't, but yeah, it'll make the clips in 100 years for the Oscars. Jesus. True professionalism from him. That's what I'll say about Rock, but I think he fucked up the gag.
Yeah, see, it's really easy to imagine or express how you think that you would act in a completely hypothetical situation. My only criticism or suggestion was Chris seemed to take too long with the cleanup. He took too long with it. He stood there and was staring at him and tried to say a couple of things in between. And that stare is where all the tension builds for everyone. If he was able to just go, wow, Will Smith just, slap the shit out of me. We'll deal with this later. Bang, move on. Don't sit there and let it fucking hang, because that's why he died. He didn't die because he got slapped. He died because he sat there and he let it grow.
I don't think he died in that bit. I think
he did. He was in shock, and you could see.
Yeah,
but
he
then
was
again,
definitely in shock, but I don't think he died. I think he dealt with an atom bomb going off in front of him as best as he could.
Oh, no, I agree that he did.
That's why I don't call it a death. I call it an insanely awkward, fucking weird moment that happened on stage. And I think a lot of other comedians, like Nenki would have smashed Will Smith back. Nenki would have killed him. Right? Bro, you started it, bro. I think, a whole heap of other comedians would have taken it a way different angle. So you reckon? You reckon he died in that bit? That was a death.
It was because I'm really sensitive to awkward situations, and as soon as I watched it, I mean, imagine that, being on the other side of the planet watching a video and being impacted the same way that I would be if I was in that room, and I just went, oh, he just, I feel like a wanker because I'm like a fucking a comic from Melbourne who's been doing this for 5 or 6 years. I'm no one, and I'm trying to put in my opinion about Chris Rock. Like, I just want to say that I just think that's really dumb.
No, well, you've performed, you've been on stage, and you've been in weird, awkward moments, and you've died, and you know that feeling. And all I'm saying is that was just so left field.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, your stage is your space, and let alone when someone breaches and walks on stage, that's freaky enough. But to have someone physically assault you, it happened to Jim Jeffries in Manchester at the Comedy Store. Yeah. He got punched and he just exited. He just went out the back because he's not a fighter.
Yeah.
As much as you think he looks like one, or the way he talks, he's not. He's a peaceful
You'd think
soul.
He would be,
He's very peaceful. And that launched him anyway. That got like 100,000 views back in the day. But
some of these things can be catalysts for careers starting.
Yeah, he escaped because, well, that was the only thing for Jeffries to do, because I mean, this guy was fucking geezer who was willing to kill him, whereas Will Smith,
you don't mess with that.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing about comedy, is that we pick the people that I suppose that's why the offensive not punching down, you that whole pick on someone your own size type thing. You've got to, it's just, I said before, I just think it's really easy for us to assume how we would have responded in that situation, when I'm never going to be in that situation where I'm going to be hosting the Oscars. So it doesn't actually matter how I think that I would respond in that situation. I would just hope that I would have the means to be able to try and move on as quick as possible and not even address it. Just like, nah, I'm not going to let this fucking tension hang. I'm going to, especially it would be really handy if you've got rope to do straight after,
but
you know?
I don't think you can do rope. You've just, you can't do rope because...
No, but imagine taking all the power away from it. The only reason why No, you can. I believe that you can, right?
I believe that you can't, because you have to acknowledge that something fucking nuts has just happened. The whole world is like, hey man, don't fucking start another joke. You have to acknowledge that this shit is real and it's gone down. That's why Chris Rock slowed right down and went, wow, okay. He was processing it at the same time as the rest of the world was processing it, and then he slowly moved on. I don't think he'll go, slap, and what's the deal with the gun? Like, no, man. He can't.
Oh, just maybe just like, wow, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. I'm sorry, man. Let's discuss this later. All right, moving on with the night. Bang, done. He fucking stood there. And it made me uncomfortable. This is about me.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, Chris Rock, he's a human being. He's got feelings, and he just got smashed by Will Smith. So he's like, fuck, Will, did you just fucking slap me, man?
I already know that he would have done 1,000 times better than I would have done in that situation. All I'm telling you is what I would hope that I would be able to do in a similar situation.
Will Smith, it would be a totally different story if Will Smith slapped you.
Let's do a hypothetical situation,
all right?
right?
So someone comes up on stage, slaps you. What do you do then? You go...
I start crying and I shit my pants and I run away, and then I write a really aggressive tweet. I play the victim, and then I launch my career.
Yeah!
That's me trying to go, because what we say that we're going to do, have you noticed that whenever anyone is talking about having to prove themselves in a hypothetical situation, it's always wank. Like, that's what really shit me about my ex-partner, because every time I would do something or make a mistake, he's like, you should have done this or you should have done that. Or the worst one, you know what I would have done in that situation? Well, I would have done this and I would have done that. And
Yeah,
it's like, you don't fucking know how you would act in a hypothetical situation. All you can do is hope that you do your best.
Just go
you
to
know?
the footy and see the fat idiots in the crowd eating a pie going, why did he go there? You should have turned and kicked it on that
He
side.
fucking has no idea how to play footy,
Oh, fuck.
fuckhead. Bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good. No, but footy's family friendly now. You're not allowed to swear.
Oh,
You're
you
not allowed
can.
to glass anyone.
Yeah, glassing's a good thing, but you can still go to, where is it? Nosebleed section, general admission, behind the seats, the
Okay.
seated areas, standing room.
Right, okay.
There's
Then you have to
allocated
stand.
spots where I think even the cops.
Like the awful people section.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's where I go because it's colourful. And,
Yeah.
that's where even cops, if they see mums with kids, they go, "Hey, are you aware that this is a bit?"
Oh, that's
and
good.
they,
I didn't realise that.
yeah, like a dry area, blah blah blah, all that stuff.
Yeah. I usually only go to about one game a year. I only maybe two. Maybe two. Yeah. There's no commentary.
I gotta go.
Okay.
We're flown.
All right.
I've got to get to Bergie. You're on tonight.
I am.
All right.
See you there.
See you
Thanks
there.
for having me.
Thank you, Pearman.